This is applicable to any business. If you got the script to go from how's the market to close, then you're gonna be laughing. Is it difficult? Sure. The way that we're going to make 100K in 30 days. All right, this is 3 ways to make 100K in 30 days. First, rob a bank. Okay, you don't want to rob a bank. I definitely don't recommend it, so don't ban me, YouTube, but that's an opportunity. So number 2 is more of the setup on how we actually formulate how we make 100K. So this is one of the issues that most people that are struggling to hit their goals find difficult, is to find the path to that money that they're searching for. And what I mean by that is, what product, service, thing are you going to sell to make X amount of dollars? So the first thing we need to figure out, so I'm in real estate. Average commission of a real estate agent is $10,000 to $15,000, let's say, per transaction. So if that's the case, we know we need for 100K, pretty simple math, if we use 10 grand, we need 10 transactions. So that is our first path. And I know this might seem rudimentary, but once we really dive deep into it, you're gonna see why it's incredibly important to know these numbers. So the first thing, the way that we're going to make 100K in 30 days is we're going to need to know what we need to do to make that 100K. And what I mean by that is we need 10 transactions. So if there's 10 transactions that we need to do as selling a real estate agent, or maybe you need to sell 10 courses or 20 courses or whatever the scenario is, we're gonna work those numbers backwards. And so what I mean by that is, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this before, it's nothing new. To get 10 transactions, I need to have X amount of client interviews, which relates to X amount of client phone calls and or conversations, which relates to X amount of marketing spend or X amount of cold calling or door knocking, etc. Right? And we're gonna start with our $100,000, which equals 10 transactions. 10 transactions means we need to be speaking and meeting with 30 clients. 30 clients means we need to be speaking to 600 people, 20 conversations per client. So if that's the case, we now have a guideline and a path on how we're going to make 100K in the next 30 days. So number 3, we now know that we have 10 transactions that we need to do to get our 100K. We now know further up the pipeline, we need to basically have 600 conversations. But I'm sure you're asking yourself, where do I come up with these 600 conversations? In real estate, I could go knock on 2,000 doors. And if I broke that over 30 days, that would be a whole bunch of doors that I'd be knocking on, right? Hundreds of doors per day. Is that realistic? Depends on your work ethic, to be honest, and depends on where you live. That's the first thing. Second thing is what I really want you to do is I want you to look at market audiences. There's a big difference between a market audience and just everybody. Okay, so market audiences are the type of lead sources that you're going to be going after. So for example, in real estate, it could be geo-farming, which means a particular area. In coaching, it could be a specific type of coaching client. What am I looking to teach? It could be strictly social media based. It could be your avatar, which I've spoke about before for referral basis. These are the market audiences that we want to start creating plans for so we can funnel and create those 600 conversations we need in those next 30 days. When we've created these market audiences, so I'm going to use one for example. We'll use geo-farming, so a particular area. So I live in Maple Ridge, so let's say we use Maple Ridge as an example. Once we pick a market audience, which is all residents more or less of Maple Ridge, what I want to do is I want to create 3 separate plans for this market audience. I want to create marketing plan. So marketing is, best way I explain marketing, it's like fishing. I'm gonna throw out a bobber with a worm on it. That's gonna be appeasing to the fish in the area, right? And I can leave it out there and let it work on itself. The fish are gonna come to it, I'm gonna hook them, and I'm gonna bring it in. Okay, so that's marketing. Marketing is putting out content, such as this, to the world and letting people come to you. The problem with marketing is just that. We let them come to us. So if we don't put out enough marketing, if we don't put out enough content, if we don't put out stuff that resonates with that audience, we might not have as much return. So it's less control on this, okay? But still, whatever audience we're going after, we need to have a marketing plan in place, okay? So marketing could include social media, could include mail outs, all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm gonna leave that to whatever base that you're doing it. Now, everything that we do, remember, needs to be trackable so we can make sure we know where we're spending our money and we can make sure, or time, and we can make sure that we can analyze our return on time. Not just return on investment, but return on time. If I'm putting out 5 videos a day and I'm getting nothing in return, then I need to reanalyze what is working and what isn't working. So that's the first thing. So the market audience is going to be the group that we're going after. So for example, as I'm using right now, Maple Ridge, the city that I'm in, is a market audience we're going to. We're going to create the marketing plan for them. Next thing we're going to do is create a prospecting plan. Prospecting is like hunting. Instead of waiting for the fish to come to the bait that we put out there, we're gonna go after that deer. We're looking for that animal to bring home some dinner, okay? So that's the main difference between prospecting is where am I going to? That's gonna be the door knocking, the cold calling, DMing people on Instagram that respond to some of your marketing. I'm going to be prolifically going after them to create business. The best part about prospecting is that you are in control of how much you do or don't do of it. The downside of prospecting is there's very little to no leverage, right? Because I'm spending all of the time going for it. But this market audience, we need to have the marketing plan, right? So this Maple Ridge, we're now gonna market Maple Ridge with Instagram videos, YouTube videos. We're gonna send out flyers, we're gonna do everything. We're gonna prospect it, so we're gonna cold call the neighborhoods, we're gonna door knock the neighborhoods. We're going to DM anybody that comes into us from our videos, right? So we're gonna proactively go after them. And then last but not least, and this sometimes may be a little bit more difficult within this 30-day period, however, maybe the easiest way is we're going to network. What is networking? Networking is very simple. Networking is getting face-to-face with them. So networking could be as big or as little as doing an open house. An open house, technically, people are coming, so it's partly marketing, partly prospecting, partly networking, and you're getting in front of people that are in your community that you're working. Other things include social clubs. I've talked about building your avatar, building a referral base. A lot of that is based on networking, so I won't go into too deep, but we really need to understand that we need to have 3 plans for this audience. I'll give you an overall plan that I would use when marketing Maple Ridge, for example. I'm gonna be doing weekly and daily content on social media. Second of all, I'm going to be paying paid ads for that social media as well. Everybody that clicks on that link, I'm going to analyze and target this specific area as much as I possibly can and the specific market audience that I'm looking to go after. Remember when we talked about we needed 10 transactions at 10 grand to make that 100K in the 30 days? Remember, that can vary on what kind of marketing you put out. If you're going to be going after transactions that may return $30,000 or $40,000, or they may only be $500, it's all going to vary on what you put out, and you have to be able to understand the numbers and consistently track the numbers that you're spending and what you're getting in return. Because marketing is highly leverageable, but can also be very expensive. Like most social media, it could be free as well, right? So that's important. So I'm gonna send out a newsletter. Every flyer newsletter I'm going to send out probably to 6,000 homes in the area, a geographic area that I'm gonna be working in. Those are gonna link directly to the videos. There's gonna be a marketing combination between what I put in the newsletters and what actually shows up on social media as well. All of it's going to be trackable. I'm going to use hidden YouTube videos so I know that every single video came off that flyer, or sorry, every single view came off that flyer. I'm going to have that down to a T. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prospect this neighborhood. So what does that include? I'm going to door knock. I'm going to cold call where applicable. I'm also going to, and this is a huge, if you guys want to make some quick money and actually have some quick returns off of your social media, here's a tip. This has worked tremendously for myself and my team. Every like that I get, so for example, let me just put it this way. I'm gonna put out a video about Maple Ridge. I'm gonna put out a video about a new condo project that's coming up in Maple Ridge, for example. If I advertise it or I don't advertise it, it doesn't matter. But every like, so if I see a like, and I'm sure you guys know how to use your social media on Instagram, you put up, you can see everybody that has liked that content. I'm gonna DM every single one of those, or as many as I possibly can. And I'm just gonna be like, hey, Bruce, thanks so much for liking my video. If you don't mind me asking, I'm trying to make the best possible content out there. Can you tell me what you loved about this video and what I could do better? And I'm gonna just quickly DM, copy and paste that. Obviously, you guys gotta be careful that they don't ban you and so on and so forth, but personally, I'm doing between 20 to 30 DMs a day for clients that I wanna work with that are liking my content. When I reach out to them in that aspect, that's a form of prospecting. Prospecting doesn't just have to be door knocking and cold calling. Prospecting is talking to them first. The funny thing is, if they liked a video about you selling something in Maple Ridge, there is some likelihood that they're thinking about buying or selling something. So once I DM that, and that's just like thanking them for liking your content. What did you like about it and what could I do better? They're usually gonna be like, hey man, I just love watching your stuff. It's a great video. I'm actually thinking about buying a house one day. Perfect, awesome. Now the conversation starts from nothing because maybe they weren't at an intent to actually start working with you yet, but now you've turned them into an actual lead, and obviously we'd go down from there. So that would be the prospecting side. And then the networking side is, in the next 30 days, I would be a part of every single possible event, and there isn't a community that doesn't have a community list. I'd be in front of every single event in Maple Ridge for the next 30 days. Everything. Everything from council meetings to meet with the people that are looking to develop the properties. I would be at any kind of local charity events. I would be at bringing my dogs to the dog show stuff. Like I would be everywhere in this community face to face. And every single time I would go with a clear objective, I'm gonna pick up 2 clients. And I know that might sound kind of weird or cheesy, but the reality is I can still have a good time. I can still bring value and benefit to the people of the community. And the best way, especially in real estate, the best way, absolute best way to bring up that you're selling real estate is not to say, hi, I'm Sean, a real estate agent. It's instead to have a genuine conversation and ask them what they do for a living. As soon as I go, hey Bruce, what do you do for a living? He points a camera. Points a camera as a videographer, right? Naturally, what is he gonna ask me after I asked him what he's done? But you're also gonna ask me what I do for a living. Because that's just common practice. It's just nice if somebody asks you a question, you return and reciprocate that question back to them. If that's the case, they're gonna ask me and be like, actually, I'm a real estate agent in the area. Oh, that's awesome. Everybody loves talking about real estate. The next question is going to be, and once you're prepared and know what's gonna, next question is, well, how's the market? If you got the script to go from how's the market to close, then you're gonna be laughing. So these are the 3 things next to robbing a bank that I would be highly working on to make 100K in the next 30 days. The reality is, guys, is that it is very easy to generate that kind of money. It's just to make sure that you have the correct plan of action, make sure you are consistent in going after each one of these audiences that you choose, right? And like I said, this is applicable to any business, coaching, car sales, you name it. It is 100% applicable. But if we do not track and measure, we're not going to be able to find what actually gives us the biggest return on investment, the ROI, but also ROT, return on time, which is even the more money you make and the bigger you get in business, even more important in my particular opinion. But we really need to make sure that we hone in on these specifics to be able to make that money. Is it difficult? Sure. But the reason is most people don't make 100K in 30 days. So don't expect to do the same amount of work that people make 5 grand in 30 days if you want to make 100. So anyways, if you're looking to learn about building your avatar in the referral business, I got a video up here somewhere as well. Also, if you want to learn more of in-depth, build an entire system, I'd love to be able to show you how I've built agents and quite a few entrepreneurs from making that 100K a year to the 7 figures. And really a lot of it is the systemization and understanding the business practices. If you can make 100K a year already, you're probably working hard. Let's change that into working hard and smart and getting you the best returns you possibly can. That's all I got for now. Please, I'd love to hear how you, next to winning maybe at the casino, have made 100K in 30 days. Put that in the comments. I'd love to hear more about it. Thanks, guys.